Ladies and gentlemen, I am Kazari Iwakura, and we are the Southeastern Bigfoot Research Organization. Come along on our almost famous sideshow as we explore Bigfoot in all of its forms. How you doing tonight, Jaster?
Not too bad, bud.
We've got a pretty big topic to talk about here in the middle in this summer, which it's really hot outside. I want everybody to know I have a big pitcher of lemonade right next to me, and I listened to our audio from the last episode, and I promise I'm going to be sat up this time and not reclining in my chair. God forbid I be comfy, but our audio suffers if I do so.
I mean, it's
Whoops.
It's how it works. It sucks, but it works. Like, I have to do the same thing, you know?
Yeah. So, we're actually discussing something we've already covered, which at the time we covered it, I don't think the wider community had really caught on to it yet. I'm not going to say we found it first.
I think it made the rounds a few times, but lately it's been getting more actual discussion.
Yeah. So we were kind of early bird getting the worm kind of deal. This is the Ohio trucker Bigfoot howl, which I believe is now being called the Ramirez audio.
Give me 1 second. So it's the Oregon Bigfoot trucker howl. Mm-hmm. And it's the Ramirez howl.
Ramirez. Okay.
Yeah.
Ramirez, we're at the crash site. Get over here.
Just as a quick recap, a couple months ago, we got this video of a trucker at a truck stop somewhere in, where was it? It was like Colorado?
No, it's Oregon.
Like that? It was Oregon. Yeah, somewhere in Oregon.
It was on Highway 97.
Highway 97. Me and Jaster did a bunch of snooping around on the map, and we narrowed it down to about 2 different locations we thought it could be, which was either the Beaver Marsh rest stop or the Collier Park State Park rest stop, which are on the same stretch of highway, almost directly across from each other. And the main reason we thought it was these two is because of the presence of the tall, thick woods that lie just beyond the semi in the video. However, this video has come under a lot more scrutiny lately. People have been running it through spectrogram analysis, and there's been some discussion. Is it fake? Because it's been getting copyright flagged, which is making people think something is up. But guess what, folks? We here at Cbro, we've done a little bit of digging, and we have some answers. So, Jaster, why don't we start with talking about the spectrogram itself and why that's significant?
Okay, so I ran this thing through the spectrogram analysis that you can get on Audacity. Like, anybody can get this. Just to be out front, you can do that anywhere for free. It's not a big deal. So when you pull this thing up, and I'm going to go ahead and do this on my screen so me and Kaz can look at this. The top one is the Ramirez howl, and the bottom one's the Ohio howl. We did this in our last video, okay? And this establishes a few things, all right? The big thing that I'd like to put out first is that the evidence that this is a unidentified animal rather than other things is that this does not come up in other types of audio recordings for other animals, other species. It's not a mountain lion. It's not a bear. It's not a moose. It's not an elk. Don't have to worry about that. However, in the last video, we did establish that this is what we would like to consider a species match to the Ohio howl Bigfoot footage, or Bigfoot audio, which is an important thing, all right? For a couple of different reasons. The big thing for our overall audio project, a big part of bioacoustics for a species is to be able to build what they call core repertoire, which is a library of sounds that is known to be made by a target species and can be used to locate and analyze and potentially identify that species in other parts of the world. So this is also what we would consider a pretty common Bigfoot howl. We're calling it the siren howl. I'm not entirely sure what everybody wants to call it. That's just what we're going to call it. And this is a match, okay? And this is a match on more than a few levels, okay?
Yeah, so first off, sorry, I'm finding where we are in our notes here because we like to be organized, despite how disorganized we may seem.
I know, right?
So both this and the Ohio howl exist inside the same frequency, which that's a big deal when we're talking about sound waves. But not only that, if you look at our spectrograms here, they also have a lot of the same sonic structures present within the audio. Now, of course, these are not two completely identical matches for obvious reasons. There's a large amount of geographical distance between where these recordings were taken, and also the amount of time, because the Ohio Howl was like taken in like what, the early 2000s, I think.
No, it's actually 1994.
From 94. So yeah, it's an old piece of audio, but we can still see similarities in it, which is really, really cool. That's not something you can get by comparing video footage, where you're squinting at pixels and trying to find some semblance of, you know, pDNA, or as Thinker Thunker would put it, or any kind of, you know, anatomical similarity. Here, we can look at the raw data and be like, hey, look at these points. They're very similar.
Exactly.
Now, another thing that's unique to both of these is that the howl has two different tones playing at the same time, which is a point that is also seen in the Ohio howl.
Mm-hmm. And we see this a lot.
Yeah. Now, we here at Cbro, we believe this is indication of infrasound being produced, but we don't have any concrete evidence to back that claim at the time. So that's just a hypothesis at the moment.
Like, I want to get more into analyzing more species in general, not just trying to do Bigfoot stuff. That way I can be a little bit more skilled in this whole thing, honestly. Mm-hmm. Now, the other part I want to bring up, though, is that the bigger point of contention with the spectrogram analysis is that how could this be done if this is a fake, right? How can the spectrogram analysis give any authenticity to either or both of these videos, okay?
Well, if you look at any piece of edited audio on a spectrogram, you can very visibly see where the cuts happen.
It's a huge schism.
It's very obvious.
And, like, unless you're very, very good and you're lucky that whoever and whatever's sound you're splicing in is on the same frequency, it's going to be obvious because you can see a dip or an uptick in a frequency almost instantly whenever that happens, too. So, we're not seeing any splicing. Like, I'm not too much of an audio engineer to know if this video or the spectrogram can even give us an answer to, is this generated in any sort of way? However, the fact that this matches a 1994 audio, which exists before AI generation, I am more likely to believe that this is legitimate on that notation because it matches something that existed before that technology even existed. Now, that doesn't mean that it can't be replicated. I've just never seen that before. If it turns out that that's a thing, then we're going to have to go in there farther, which is going to be another thing. As we do this project, we're going to go back through our stuff and update.
Yeah.
So, let's go ahead and what do you think about the obvious differences here between the human pitches that's in the audio and the supposed target species stuff? Like,
okay, all right. So the human pitches, those are the peaks we see, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the isolated peaks. There's 3 sections of them right here. We've got them one kind of right here towards the left. There's one towards the center. And there's one on the far right. And then, so that's our person who's speaking in the audio, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, cool. It means okay, cool. It means I did learn something from watching all this spectrogram analysis videos that we like to study.
Right. There's a lot and it can get dry.
Yeah, it's a very dry topic. Yeah. Yeah. No. Well, I think there's a very obvious contrast between the target individual's audio and the person who recorded this, because for one, the target individual, their audio tones, not only are they maintained for much longer, but they also have more consistent shapes, which is very hard for a human to achieve just because of how variable the sounds that we produce are and how our throats work.
I think it's also possibly indicative of a very large diaphragm and lung
Oh,
capacity.
absolutely.
Being able to stabilize a pitch like that, knowing that from band, that takes a
Yeah.
ton of wind.
And not only that, but being able to sustain that as well.
Takes exponentially more air the longer you need to hold it out.
Yeah.
Because you're pushing that air through in order to maintain that pitch. So
Right.
that is indicative of a larger individual, if anything. Like, there's not very many animals that are 80% lung capacity by volume.
No.
So,
No, there are not.
or maybe potentially an air sac to kind of reverberate this. But a howler monkey doesn't really have the same staying power. So I don't know if an
No.
air sac is really the thing. I really kind of believe it has to do with the lung capacity itself. Now, let's look up this a little bit here. So this video itself, right? Whenever we were looking
Yeah.
back at it, the next part that we kind of want to get into is that a couple of weird things kind of happened, and I want to bring the update in because we ended
Yeah.
up going down that rabbit hole too.
Yes, I'll let you discuss this part because you're the one who did all the legwork on this.
Okay, so the mysterious copyright that we brought in on the last video, I was saying something that it looked like a heavy metal song of some sort, right? Turns out I was right. It belongs to, like I said, this band named Abominable, and the song name is Night of the Demon. It is on SoundCloud, actually. That's where I found it. And the record company that published it is Losers Records on the title Lost Evidence. And this came out in 2024. Okay?
Yeah, it's I have to say, I did not expect us to get led to a Bigfoot themed metal album.
Yeah.
In our research.
It's got some Metallica tones to it, too. I kind of dig it, okay? Like,
Yeah, no, we thought it was going to be pretty garbage when we pulled it up, but it's actually
okay.
pretty, I mean, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say it's good, but it's okay. It's interesting.
It's entertaining.
It's definitely entertaining, yeah.
So that's where that came from. So the technicality here is that the original Ramirez audio was not copyright flagged or anything. However, this being a song and it being on there, they somehow now managed to have a copyright flag for anybody that has the original Ramirez audio in their video. However, it's non-enforceable. So it turns out you can't really copyright biological entities like that, you know?
Yeah.
Now, like, the MGM line's a little bit different because it's actually a tiger and they did some art or whatever. I'm not sure. I just know that don't do that. But, like, anything else you find in the woods, copyright free. So,
Yep.
that's where that led. Now, if you want, go ahead and check them out on SoundCloud. Give them some love, I guess. So, that's where that led. We were thinking that it had to do with potentially the 2006 film Abominable. We'll put the cover up there for you. That actually was not it. I ended up watching the movie with a couple of buddies. Had Kaiden and over there doing everything. Myth. So he ended up watching this movie. It's like a core memory when he was little. He was like, "Wait, you're gonna watch that movie? You've heard of it?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, I'm doing it for science." And he's like, "I watched that when I was like 6. My babysitter made me watch it. It was crazy."
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't remember exactly what age he was, but it was something like that. Okay, way too young to be watching a Bigfoot horror movie, you know?
Yeah. So,
Happens.
Yeah, it does. So from what you have told me, as far as films go, it's a pretty good piece of Sasquatch exploitation.
Yeah.
Which is a film genre that we do adore here at Cbro.
Most definitely. It was produced by an independent company in film and director and all that kind of stuff, but it was actually sold and syndicated through Sci-Fi. So a lot of people know this as a Sci-Fi original, and I believe some of the cast members have done Sci-Fi movies in the past. However, it wasn't originally written by the Sci-Fi channel. So if you're a little hesitant of the quality because of that good old label there, don't have to worry. I went ahead and vetted it for you. It's only
This is-
normal horror
yeah.
garbage. You know what I mean?
And this was back in the day when like the Sci-Fi Channel was like a respectable TV channel and wasn't just filled to the brim with trash.
Hey,
This was also before the really dumb Siffy relabel where they changed it from SCIFI to SYFY.
yeah. Wasn't that whenever, God, what was that MMO game series that came out? I got it.
I don't know.
Give me
I
a
don't
second.
know.
I have it like literally on my thing.
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't care.
Yeah. I know. Random trivia here. So,
yeah.
you don't have to really worry about the quality of it. It's a bog standard quality horror movie, I would say. I wouldn't say it's wild. Got a good premise.
But-
it's got a good twist.
The important point, though, is that the audio is not from the movie.
No, nowhere's in it. I would have figured there'd have been something, but nothing.
So we have now eliminated both potential suspects for the origin of the audio.
Yeah, the other one being a potential hoax that Thinker Thunker had covered, which by the dates alone, not gonna work out either. So wait a minute, that's 3. I'm sorry, I'm bad at counting.
So three potential suspects for this being fake. We've looked into 2 of them and then did the math with the other one, and as far as we know, the original upload of this video predates both the Metal album and that other potential hoax, and then that movie has nothing to do with this. It's only tangentially related because it has the same name as the Metal album, or the band rather, that produced that Metal album that sampled this video for their song.
And we just decided to do the extra legwork.
Yep. I mean, I think it's important to, cover all your bases and make sure you've, looked at everything in this, because we don't want to be the guys who go run off half-cocked and, get fooled, which has happened to us before.
Right. We're working on that video. That one's a little bit bigger.
That one's going to take a while. That's a big project.
Yeah, like we're gonna have to have watch nights.
Yeah.
Trying to figure
We've
out
got a
some of
lot.
this.
We've got a lot of stuff to sift through, unfortunately.
All
'Cause
right.
we've got multiple seasons of a TV show to comb through to find the footage we're looking for. It's not great.
No, I think we're gonna be able to whittle it down a little bit, but I think we're gonna have a couple of episodes we're gonna have to try out,
Yeah.
knowing that it's like a 10 season show or something like that.
Yep. So keep that in your back pocket, everybody. We're working on something big.
You're gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. Either way, we hope you watch it. So,
And we're certainly going to be proud of it once we make it. So
for better or worse, right?
for better or for worse. I mean, so in all, thanks to all this investigation we've done, we are almost certain that the Ramirez audio is genuine.
Yes.
It matches up when held under scrutiny via spectrogram. We've eliminated any possibilities of it being a fake. We have a genuine piece of Sasquatch audio here, and I'm sad that unfortunately we can't have a cute term for it like big footage.
Right. Well, what we have is a species match. I think that's what the elimination of it being a hoax kind of indicates here.
Yes.
Is that we have done the legwork to see here, up to the best of our knowledge so far, as of the posting of this video. This is what we know. We believe this to be true based on the legwork that we've done here. The future part that we may or may not have to upload will correct anything that we may have stated here, or at the very least add on to the discussion through future techniques that we learn.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy. All right. So like you said, this is almost 30 years apart, 2,200 miles apart.
Yeah.
That is a wild number. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And for it to be 2 in the bucket now, that is big on the bioacoustic analysis portion, that we need to do more diligence. We need to start building these databases of audio and actually start to analyze these things, which does take a lot of legwork. We do a certain amount or even singular reports whenever we do our videos now. We used to crank out, like 3, 4, 5, just ones we thought sounded cool. But in order to do this a little bit better, we're whittling it all the way down. And the big thing to talk about here is that this audio is starting to just become a footnote in a larger discussion. That there is something to sound analysis and bioacoustics in the Bigfoot universe, and a lot of people have been saying this for a long time. And there's not a lot of people that are willing to do it, and kind of seeing why. There's a lot going on here. It's a deep pool to jump into. But we wanted to give you something with what we could figure out right now, trying to learn as much as we can. And a lot of it is listening to other people talk about it, which the Olympic Project has a specialist on this topic, and I would advise anybody to listen to his interviews. He's been interviewed a lot. He likes to go out and talk about this subject quite often. And there are also a lot of bioacoustic engineers in the biological sphere in science that can give us a lot of tools in order to bring over. Is the only way that we're going to have scientists actually pay attention to what we're giving them is to give it to them in the same way that one of their colleagues would give them a report on a cardinal, you know what I mean, or a gorilla.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we got to be able to up our game up to the level that they are, and a lot of that's not being so up our own ass that we think, oh, well, these scientists don't believe in Bigfoot, they're stupid. They've got some technique and crafts in their trade too, man. So, like, if we want to get people to listen to us, we've got to kind of emulate what they're doing, learn from them, bring that technique here, Anything else you really want to go on? Do you see anything that we've really not seen or not talked about on this yet?
I don't think so, just because we've covered, everything we discovered and all of that stuff. So I mean, like, really at this point in the video, I'd just like to, replay the audio or the video itself, just to kind of put the, tie the bow on this.
Yes. So we'll go ahead and play that there.
What the absolute fuck is it? Starting to regret that I stopped at this rest stop. What the? And they say Bigfoot isn't real?
And then afterwards, we're going to play a updated, boosted version of the previous video because it's kind of hard to hear it, where we've got the two videos playing together in conjunction, so that way you can actually listen side by side and hear the species match. Okay?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go ahead and give that a moment. Wait.
Starting to regret that I stopped at this rest stop.
All right, so Kaz, where do you want to go from here as far as audio?
That's a good question, man. Because
there's a lot of them to go for.
Yeah, no, there's so many videos to look at now that we've started looking at spectrograms. So you're the one, leading the charge here on spectrogram analysis here at Cbro, Jaster. So I think I am going to let you take captainship of our houseboat here, and bring us to our next port of call.
I'm curious. I am really curious of the Bigfoot in Alaska video. That one.
Which one is that?
That's the one where it's metal detecting in Alaska. Where
Right.
He's
Yes,
out
I know
near
what
a
you're talking about
highway.
now. Yeah.
Well, kind of near a highway. And
I'm
just...
actually, now that you're thinking about it, I'm curious about that as well. I would like to peel that one open and see what we can find.
Because that guy is not a Bigfoot guy. Like,
No,
that's the important part.
He's a hobbyist. He's
a doctor. He's got a whole practice in Fairbanks, Alaska. And he goes out there metal detecting. And one time he was out metal detecting, and that happened while he was recording for his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like, that's when crazy stuff happens.
Yeah, that is the kind of ideal kind of situation you want to hear, Bigfoot audio in, because it's incidental. It doesn't. It feels genuine. It's hard to say it's staged.
Exactly. Like, the terrain makes sense. The geographic location makes sense. The population density makes sense. Like, being out in the middle of Alaska, I would imagine there'd probably be more Bigfoot near highways. Like, the same thing can be said of Canada, where they have a quote-unquote Bigfoot highway, because there's really just the cars. Everything else is nothing. It's kind of easier for animals to be acclimated to a road when the only thing human is cars.
Yeah.
And population density makes a big difference when it comes to sighting reports and audio reports, because as it turns out, and this is through other people's research, the primate behavior that lines up with what we're seeing in Bigfoot reports is that whenever people start moving in, or people start hunting closer around Bigfoot territory or people's places where they've had encounters in the past, you start to see a migration towards more dense area. Like, that mirrors what we see in great apes and in chimpanzees whenever people go to war within their territory. At one point, there was a whole chimpanzee tribe that went nocturnal in order to keep away from the warring people in Africa that were over there killing each other and then hunting them for bushmeat. So they just went nocturnal and peaced out. So that's crazy similar behavior. And in order to kind of make it a little bit more known that, hey, Bigfoot is emulating biological, scientifically measurable data as other things. You know what I mean? That helps. So we hope that you guys like the video, and stay tuned as we keep on this journey and try and learn more about this subject and try to give you guys more things to kind of think about. And hopefully we discover a couple things along the way. But this is Jaster with Sebro and Kaz over there. And you have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.